let's go ahead. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the situation with the Denver Nuggets. So, the Denver Nuggets, they have injuries with two of their most important players. Oops, wrong graphic. Here we go. Yeah, Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. They have both been ruled out in for future games. We have no idea how long it's going. I have no idea how long it's going to take for them to recover. But Aaron Gordon is ruled out, and Jamal Murray has also been ruled out. And so, as the Nuggets, as if they didn't have more problems in their depth, because that was one thing that was one thing that I've noticed so far with the Denver Nuggets. They lack the depth, and part of that is because of without Nikola Jokic, this team is essentially in hot water, as you'd expect, because whenever you remove an MVP caliber player from a roster, they are going to be in hot water, and it's most likely that they're not going to be able to win without their best player, right? But the big problem here with the Nuggets that I've noticed is that they really do lack depth in the bench, and this might play into the Russell Westbrook's plus minus. If you guys remember, in the first two games that the Denver Nuggets played, Russell Westbrook had one of the worst plus minuses that I've ever seen. And when Russell Westbrook was in the game, the Nuggets were outscored. Meanwhile, when he was off the court, the Nuggets were outscoring. And part of that, while it might be Russell Westbrook's fault, it was also the fault of the bench for being unable to really produce along with Russell Westbrook. Because, while Russell Westbrook was on the court, and he definitely did play into his plus minus, he plays with the most of the second unit. And if most of the second unit cannot produce, then it does make sense that the box plus minus from Russell Westbrook is not all that great when he's on the court. And this is, after losing KCP and some other players, they've really had a problem with their depth. And that's sort of what I've noticed. Now they have even bigger problems, since now they won't be able to rely on Jamal Murray or Aaron Gordon for the next few games. So when Aaron Gordon, he walked in the opposite direction of the huddle when Michael Malone called a timeout on Monday night's game. Gordon was stable on his feet, but definitive. He marched off the court and toward the home team's locker room and did not return. 5 minutes into what should have been a really easy win for Denver, Denver was all of a sudden missing two of its four best players. Jamal Murray was already out with a concussion injury, right? So that's Jamal Murray being out. We have no idea when he's going to be cleared from concussion protocol, and now it's Aaron Gordon. So for the next couple of games, likely Malone said that Jamal Murray is most likely going to be out for the next couple of games. That's what he said in the pregame conference, right? And Gordon is also apparently suffering a right calf strain, which is expected to sideline him for multiple weeks, according to the Denver Post. These were the sources that sort of confirmed that. So the absence required multiple bench players to enter into the starting lineup, and non-rotational players were needed to occupy the second unit for the Denver Nuggets. And this is a domino effect, right? Of injuries to any team. But the difference in Denver was the sort of dread, I guess you could say. So through 6 games, the Nuggets' offensive rating without Nikola Jokic on the floor was 41.7 points per 100 possessions, which is worse than it was with him on the floor, of course. And the second unit's lack of cohesion was the team's defining flaw 10 days into the season. This, obviously, some of the bench players, they haven't really played with each other all that much. So the lack of cohesion is definitely going to cause some chemistry issues and could cause some more issues into the future. This Denver team is just not the same unit that we saw that won a championship. And probably still, after Monday, the Raptors were shorthanded as well, but the feat Denver accomplished without Murray and Gordon was momentous. With Julian Strawther and Peyton Watson joining Christian Braun in the closing lineup with 3 rookie contracts, the Nuggets won despite losing Jokic's minutes. Jokic didn't really play all that much. And We all dreamed of playing in the NBA, Strother said, and the opportunities here right now with guys banged up. So I'm saying to myself, this is what Malone said. Holy crap, I'm not sure if I could say that, but I hope I'm all right saying that. That's a quote. We're out there with, I never envisioned this lineup being out there to close the game. But Jamal is out. Aaron gets hurt early in the game. I can't play Russ 40 minutes. He's a 17-year vet. And not only that, but you also probably, even if you probably wouldn't want Russ playing in the final minutes of these games. I mean, I don't know what it is about Russell Westbrook, but in the final minutes of a game, Russ never learns from his mistakes. Like, from the last few years that I've seen Russ play, he's never really learned from his mistakes. And one of those mistakes is taking an awful three-pointer late in games. I don't know what it is, but it's like every single time in the fourth quarter, he'll always just throw up a heat check three-pointer that is just terrible. It's a terrible shot. Sometimes it goes in, but most of the times it really doesn't go in. And I don't understand why he does it, but he does it. And not to mention late in situations, late in game situations for the previous few years, he's been rather turnover prone. He's been the reason why some of these teams end up losing in the end of the game. And it doesn't seem like he understands the moment. And even though, in his prime, he did understand the moment and what it took to win in those situations. But now that he's, a veteran, it's less likely that he's able to do so. So leaving him in the game in the final minutes of a fourth quarter is not ideal. And since the start of the 2022-2023 season playoff games included, the Nuggets are 6-36 when their centers plus minus is in the red category. They went 2 for 19 in those games last year. So if Jokic is not having a very good game and is not outscoring while he's on the court, then the Nuggets tend to end up losing, which really shows just how valuable Jokic really is. Jokic played as poorly as anyone can possibly play with 28 points, 14 rebounds, and 14 assists stat line. He turned the ball over 7 times, including one costly pass out of bounds while targeting an unprepared Watson in the last minute. A miscommunication Jokic refused to blame on the young forward. Even more detrimentally, he couldn't get a stop against Raptors setter Jakob Poeltl until he was bailed out, fittingly by one of his younger teammates who wouldn't have been on the floor without those injuries. So Strother attacked the rim with 3:53 remaining and drew a foul. Poeltl's 6th foul, and that ended up, getting him ejected from the game. He was disqualified 2 minutes into Denver's dramatic 11-point comeback, and the Nuggets suddenly had life. And it ended up being only Strother's second most important drive of the game. With 1 minute left to go, his tough finish off the window turned out to be the last field goal for either team, giving the Nuggets a 120-119 lead and vindicating the 22-year-old's place on the floor after a shaky first half defensively. So this was obviously very, very solid performance coming in from their bench players, and this is something that they have to keep up for the remainder of the season, not just for in the expectations and waiting for Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray to come back. They need this kind of productivity and this kind of production throughout the rest of their season if they want to have a chance of even competing in the postseason and possibly making it to the finals again. That is just something that they have to do. And because, again, chances are, if judging by how the Nuggets have been playing, if it's really tough to say that the lineup with Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray would have done enough to be able to win against. I mean, I know that says that really does say a lot about where the Denver Nuggets are at, that not having 2 of your best players, it's rather unclear what's going to happen in this game, especially considering how the Raptors are injured and also don't have one of their best players. But aside from that, this is the production that you need coming in from the rest of your bench, and this is the production that you need coming in from the rest of your players if you want to succeed in the postseason. So this is something that I feel like they're going to have to keep up for the remainder of the season if they have any hopes of making it through to the championship and actually being able to compete in the postseason. But them being out, obviously, it's not going to be easy. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe Russell Westbrook can actually have some solid production in a lot of these games. And it's not like he didn't play well in this matchup against the Toronto Raptors. Like, let me go ahead and just look at the stats. Let me go ahead and look at the stats real quick. Hold on. Because I don't have the box scores memorized, obviously, but let's see. Where is he? Did he even play in this game? Yeah, he did. What on earth am I talking about? Yeah. He ended the game with 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. And he also ended up shooting 6 of 10 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. Like, this is good. This is very solid. Maybe, like, don't take as many 3-pointers because, again, this is Russell Westbrook we're talking about. So don't take as many 3-pointers. Shoot 6 for 10 like this in every single game, and you're good. Honestly, like that's very, very solid if you shoot 6 for 10. And if you cut down on the 3-pointers, you might even shoot a lot better. I mean, if we take away the 3-point shots that he ended up taking and that he ended up missing, right? Then that would be 5 less shots that he would have that would mean 5 less shots that he would have taken. So he would be 5 for 5 on the court. Like, that is very solid. Not to mention the fact that he was also 8 for 10 from the line. Again, that is solid. That is something those are the kinds of performances that you need coming in from Westbrook. And at least, in this stage of his career. But that's really all that I have to say in the second segment. And that's sort of what the Denver Nuggets have to expect going forward. But now in this third segment, we are going to talk about the Lakers and their horrible loss to the Detroit Pistons. Yes, they lost to the Pistons. We're going to talk about that right after this short break, so be sure to stay tuned if you guys are interested.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.